maririnig nyo kaming lahat. And tonight, meron na naman tayong ibang guest and he is somebody na a Toastmasters and a home-based daddy. And what else? A home-based hubby rin, daddy at hubby. So may dalawa siyang chikiting. And I think yung iba pang na-achieve niya sa buhay, siya na yung magsasabi sa inyo. He will actually introduce himself, kung ano yung mga nagawa niya. And I'm Jet Elnar. Welcome to HMTV, your marriage mentor. And I am here to help you build your purposeful, inspired, productive, and empowered married life. So sana meron kayong matututunan sa guest natin ito. Welcome, Sir Franklin Vius. And he will be sharing with us this tonight yung the power of a home-based hobby. So ano yung mga insights na i-share niya sa atin tonight. So welcome, Sir Franklin. You may now start your presentation and introduce yourself first.
Okay. Good evening, Nijet. Thank you pala. Thank you for this opportunity. Um, this is such a wonderful honor. This is such an honor for me to be here, to be part of your show, Ma'am Jet, for your episode 4. I'm just a young husband. So I was wondering how could I share some things for your audience. But let me share first my screen. Okay. Disabled. Can you please share po, ma'am?
Let me check. Google for a while. So, ito ata yun. And then present. Nakikita nyo na ba? Have you seen it, sir?
Not yet.
It's
Wait
loading.
lang. Not yet. Disabled by the participant.
Okay. So let me check first. Share. Ayun.
Yay, there you go. Started sharing. Okay. All right. Can you please present?
Okay. Ayun.
There.
Si technology.
Okay, there you go. So basically, I'm going to simplify kasi napakabigat ng topic na binigay ni Ma'am ni Jet sa akin eh. It's very very heavy for me as a young dad. I'm still young. I'm still 36. I'll be turning 36 in the next few days. So I would be sharing with you this evening or tonight some of the, I would say, survival tips, the things that I've learned as I go through the transitioning phase of being an employee into a home-based dad, full-time home-based. I'm really a full-time home-based dad right now. So I hope I will provide valuable inputs to your audience, Nijet, the married couples, right? And of course, I'm sure there will be soon-to-be couples who will be tuning in later on or in a while, and also those who will be hunting for their partner to be their couples in life, to be their partner in life. So I hope they will learn something from this presentation that will prepare them for their future. All right. So first, I would like to, can you please proceed to next slide, please? Right. So first, before you consider to quit your job and become home-based full-time, I'd like to ask you this very simple question. Are you fulfilled with what you're doing at work right now? So I want to ask this question because I know that there are a lot of people out there who really hate their job, but still they don't quit because it pays the bills, you know? And I totally understand. I totally understand that, especially that nowadays many companies are reducing their manpower, a lot of companies are closing down. And so the idea of fulfillment probably is a big thing to talk about. And it could be different from one person to another. My definition, my idea of fulfillment probably is different from other people. So this is me. I'm going to share with you my sense of my kind of definition of fulfillment. So for me, that sense of fulfillment is really, really important in our life. And but of course, I don't say that. I'm not saying that you have to quit your job right away because you don't feel fulfilled your job in your job. No, that's not the point that I'm going to emphasize today or this evening. In fact, in my case, it's also different. And in fact, in my case, I stayed in my job for 11 years. And although that job hasn't really something to do with my passion and with the things that I love with my soul's one thing, but I still managed to develop certain passion there. And actually, yung decision ko to quit that job wasn't an overnight decision. It took me a few years, a few years to prepare myself spiritually, mentally, and even financially, of course, financially. So mahirap naman na you just quit your job and then you become tambay and you're not earning something, okay? So, um, but that's not what I'm going to share with you today. That's probably a different episode for the Harmony TV in the future night. And anyway, my decision wasn't really easy, but of course, um, it wasn't easy because the pay that I was earning there, I was getting there was really, really good. But I had to quit because that job was no longer fulfilling my soul. Okay, that's why I want to share this quote. This quote summarizes it all. Um, what good will it be? I think this is a Bible verse now. You know, what good will it be for me, for a person to win the world, or in my case, to have a good salary, kasi hindi naman yung world talaga, it's just a good salary. If it felt that every day at work there felt like my soul was really, really dying. So that was what I was feeling while I was there. And another reason is why I quit that job and to become a home-based person or dad is my longing as a child. You know, I grew up kasi longing to have a happy home. Yun. Um, the quote says, "He who finds peace in his home is happiest." But in my case, growing up, I didn't find peace in our home. In fact, it was very confusing to me. And kasi bata ka pa, so I did not really understand what was happening around me back then. So yun, when I was in grade 5, lumayas ako. Lumayas ako sa bahay namin. But of course, lumayas ako, but hindi naman siya ganun kalayo. Pumunta lang ako dun sa bahay ng classmate namin, and then dun ako natulog for a few hours, and then sinundo ako ng uncle ko, and then hinatid ako sa bahay. But then again, the idea is I left our home because I wanted to find something else outside our home. So yun, I told myself that when I grew up, and then I would have my own family, I would really, really build that home wherein there is peace and happiness, wherein I could stay there and be happy, and also my children and my family. So yun yung longing ko when I was a child. So now, um, when I was finally home-based, next po, when I was finally a home-based, I felt like it was really a huge forest. Para bang pumunta ako sa isang lugar na it was still a strange to me. Although I was already thinking na kayang-kaya ko siya, na idea to be home, to manage my business while I have that time to take care of my family. I thought that was so exciting and easy to do. But then when I was there, it was really overwhelming. It was really overwhelming. In fact, I didn't know really how I was supposed to do to transition from being an employee wherein I have routine to wake up in the morning and go to work and then be out there and go back home at 5 or something like that. So after that, when I transitioned and I was finally home based, parang na-overwhelm ako ng konti. And then I realized na there was so little that I thought I was so prepared, but I was actually not that prepared. So yun, so there I was just learning everything I could every day as I transition, as I go through life. And that's what I'm going to share with you today. Okay, so I'll start with number five. There are only five tips that I'm going to share. I'll start with number five para countdown po tayo. So number one is you need to establish routine. Okay, kasi pag employee tayo, sanay tayo na may routine, di ba? Babangon ka sa umaga, ganyan, papasok ka ganitong oras, tapos kakain ka na nito, snack ng ganyan. Routine can make us organized in a way. So, pag wala na yung mga routine na yun, parang it felt empty, no? It felt empty. So, but sabihin mo na, di ba dapat wala ka ng routine kasi nasa bahay ka lang? Yun yung karamihan na tinatanong sa akin. So, yeah, you're free to do whatever you want. However, kasi ganito kasi yung irony. Pag sinasabi na routine, may rules, di ba? Yun yung kadalasan na pumapasok sa isip natin. When you have routines, you have to follow certain rules. Okay. Yun nga, sa work, kailangan mo ng 8 na makapag-swipe, no, sa ID. Or else, you'll be late and then i-deduct yun sa sweldo, di ba? Yun yung number one na routine sa workplace. So sa home, wala ka namang ID, so wala na yun talaga. So dapat kailangan na may mga routines. Next po. Okay, before I answer that question kung bakit kailangan, ito ma'am, familiar ba to sa'yo na cartoon?
Parang wala na yan sa panahon ko.
Actually, this is quite new. This is quite new. I think 2018 pa siya na show. Ano, it's an Australian-based cartoon. It's called Bluey. Yung bata sa gitna, siya si Bluey. She's a girl, a daughter, and then the reason I want to share this is that this is something to do with my point. No, I watched this cartoon this kanina in the afternoon while we were playing. So anyway, there was this one episode wherein si Bluey yung nasa gitna and his friends were playing Shadowland. So yung Shadowland, kumbaga, simple yung na game. Kung merong shadow, yun yung safe place, no? But kung outside ka sa shadow, ibig sabihin, hindi siya safe, and then pwede kang kainin ng mga crocodiles. So it's a simple game sa mga bata. So kailangan nila na mag-step in sa shadow. And then while they were playing, there were instances na minsan, umaalis yung sasakyan na nagkakas ng shadow, no? Or sometimes the clouds would move kasi naman the clouds would really move. So one of her friends were saying, why should we just change the rules? Anyway, you just made it up, di ba? You just made it up the rules. Tapos yung si Bluey, sabi niya, no, you can't change the rules. Sabi naman iba, why you can't change the rules? Yun yung parang argument nila. At first, yung explanation is something like, sabi niya, because they are rules. So you can't change the rules because they are rules. Yun yung sabi nila. Yun yung sabi niya sa start. But then, actually, nairita ako nung una kasi bakit nga you can change the rules, di ba? But in the end, towards the end, nung na-achieve nila yung to transfer to the main island kasi hinahabol sila ng clouds eh. Muntika na sila na mahulog sa shadow. And then they were so excited and they were so happy and then they were even like hinihingal pa sila. Tapos ang sabi ng isa, that's why we shouldn't change the rule because rules make the game fun. Yun yung explanation niya. Without the rules, doon din ako na-realize, nga no, yung rules pala yung nagpa-fun ng mga activities natin. Without the rules, for example, sa basketball, kung walang rules sa basketball, di ba, it's going to be chaotic. No? It's going to be a chaotic game. So it's really important to have rules and it's really important to have routine. No? Not only to make our day fun, but also to make our life organized and meron tayong patutunguhan. And yun, kung exciting siya, kung orderly siya and fun, of course, it's exciting. Diba? So now, to translate that to being home-based, you also need to have a routine. Okay? So why do you need to have a routine? Yun na yung next slide. Number one is routines make you run your day in a systematic way. Magiging hindi magulo, or yeah, systematic way. So going to be orderly. Your day will going to be orderly, and you will be productive and efficient with your use of resources. And what is the most important resource that we have? As we've learned with from Doc Lloyd, from Jet, what is the most important resource or valuable resource that we have? That is time, di ba? That is time. So routines make habit, or routine makes a habit, and especially if it is a good habit. And if you don't establish some routine activities at home, you will end up your day as if you'll end up your day and then you'll wonder, anyari? Parang ang bilis ng oras. Tapos, parang wala akong nagawa today. So I've also experienced that, no? Especially during the early stage of my transition. And then, um, you don't want that to happen. No? We don't want that to happen, especially we're at home. Na tayo, we own our time, but then we don't make use, we don't maximize our time. And since you have no boss at home, no, walang tao na magsasabi sa'yo, oh, kailangan mong kumilos or ganyan. No one is going to tell you but yourself, no. You have to set your own rules, and you have to stick with the rules no matter what, no. Especially the rules that are non-negotiable. Okay, that's how we form a habit, di ba? Alam natin yan eh. For example, if yung habit is you have to do it consistently no matter how mundane or how simple they are. You have to do it consistently kasi uh, there are times na di mo na kailangan mag-isip, or hindi mo na kailangan na mag-decide, kailangan ko ba itong gawin or not. Like for example, when you wake up in the morning, of course, no, every time you wake up in the morning, hindi mo naman kailangan na you would ask yourself, should I brush my teeth today or not today? Diba? So if it's part of your routine, magiging automatic ka na. Pagising mo, yun ang gagawin mo right away. So, you know, one common routine that I observed from a lot of people, and or home-based or employed, is that part of their routine, well, part of their routine sa mga na-observe ko, sa mga kasama ko dati as other people, is part of their routine is to open their first book, first thing in the morning. Okay. So do you think that's a healthy routine? Do you think that's a healthy routine to open Facebook in the morning? Anong sa palagay niyo po, Nay? Do you open ba your Facebook or first thing in the morning?
Hindi, kasi
Hindi.
mawawala ka sa ano, mawawala ka sa oras, tapos parang you just do not know that you have consumed already a lot of time just scrolling, and then uh, sa isang iglap lang makikita mo na, oy, hindi pa ako kumakain, hindi pa nga ako nakapagdasal, yung ganun. Parang ang laki ng nakuha ng time mo na hindi naman productive, hindi mo na convert into something productive.
Wow. So yun, I think we are on the same page, ma'am, kasi I've read a lot of articles claiming na it is actually a dangerous thing to do in the morning. When you open your Facebook first, or any social media, when you open it the first thing in the morning, it's actually very dangerous. Same thing with watching the news first thing in the morning. First thing in the morning before anything else. Why? Well, according to some studies, the very first hour in the morning is very critical. Very critical siya. Ang ginamit niya na comparison is that our mind is like a new sponge early in the morning. Ibig sabihin, very powerful siya. It can easily absorb anything that you put into it. So if you subject your mind, if you expose your mind to negativity, to toxicity, which you can get in the social media and the news, so it's going to affect, it's going to affect your whole day. So yun, critical talaga na yung routine mo kasama yung first things, your productive things that you do first hour in the morning. Okay? So yun, yeah, as much as possible. The point is, as much as possible, make sure that your routine will contribute you to become productive, systematic, and efficient. Okay, that's my tip number 5. Okay, number 4. Okay, so number 4 is choose your bottle. It's not really an A, it's an O. Bottle as in milk bottle. Yun. For me kasi, yung common na phrase is choose your battle, di ba? Battle kasi is very heavy. It means fight and war and chaos. Ayoko yun eh. ang sinasabi na choose your battles, ibig sabihin you have to be selective of the problems and arguments and confrontations that you're going to be involved in. So instead of fighting it all, instead of solving all the problems, you have to focus only on certain problems that really matter to you. Why? Because we don't have all the time in the world to solve all the problems in the world, diba? So if you choose your battles, it will save you time. So in this case, it's not really a battle, but it's a battle. So I want to share with you an experience, um, experience of the battle. Yeah. Um, sa
Talagang
bahay namin,
talagang experience mo
event.
kasi may babies ka.
Yeah. Sana may free ako dito from Philips, no? Kasi promote ko yung ano nila. At anyway, ito naman talaga yung ginagamit namin sa bahay ng event, no? It's quite expensive but it's worth it naman. It's worth the investment. Anyway, so dito sa bahay namin, we have different bottles, no? Different bottle for breast milk, different bottle for formula milk, different bottle for water, and then for juice iba din, ganyan. So each bottle is different, no? It's different from each other. But although they are different from each other, each of them is important. It's only a matter of picking the right bottle at the right time or at the right instant. For example, after eating, my kids love to drink water. No? Yun yung instant na dapat at that moment, after eating, you have to give my kid or my son water. Kasi if you give him milk, what's going to happen is that itatapon niya yung milk, ayaw niya yung milk kasi gusto niya yung water eh. At the same time, iiyak pa siya. So, it's going to be worse, no? Worse na mangyayari kasi matatapon yung milk, tapos meron pang umalingaw-ngaw na parang siren. So, di ba? Masakit yun sa ulo. Now, ang tanong is that, my question is that which is more important really? Is it the bottle or is it the content of the bottle? Diba? So obviously the content of the bottle is more important, diba? The water, the milk, or the other contents. Ganon din sa ating experiences. I would compare the bottle as our experience. It contains something that is more important than the experience. So yung lesson, yun yung content of the experience. Kasi minsan may mga experiences tayo na feeling natin um, ayaw natin na ma-experience natin, ayaw natin balikan or mapait, painful experiences, ayaw natin nun. But then again, as I look back, no, as I look back in my experiences, I realized na all of the experiences are actually important. It's just a matter of pulling which lesson to use or to apply into certain aspects of our life. So yun, lahat ng mga lessons na natutunan natin from any experiences that we have are really important. It's just a matter of seeing it or using it the right way. And during the times that we're experiencing those painful experiences, you may not see it right away na they're important. So there goes the last slide now. Next slide. So sabi ng uncle ko siya actually, ma'am. Uncle ko siya si Steve Jobs. Sabi niya, you cannot connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backward. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. So you have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, or whatever. So yun, hindi natin ma-appreciate yung mga experiences and the lessons behind those experiences while we are there. But we have to trust that there is something uh, that we can use of those experiences, especially the lessons. We can use those in the future. Okay, you have to choose your battles. Okay.
Kahit sinasabi siguro, Sir Franklin, na your past does not define your future dahil mayroon din namang nagsasabi niyan. But we also have to look back kasi yun yung nagpatatag sa atin eh, yung mga experiences as a couple, yung mga ganun. Yung when we look back, kami nga 26 years in marriage na kami. When we look back, ano ba yung mga battles natin noon na
Yeah.
nakapagpatatag sa relasyon namin mag-asawa. So, although we will say that our past does not define our future because talaga namang merong marami pang magagandang bagay na mangyayari in the future, but then we also have to look back na ano ba yung mga magaganda at hindi masyadong magandang experiences na nakapag-mold sa atin bilang better na tao, better na wifey, or better na hubby, di po ba? So, ang galing.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for sharing that, ma'am. Naalala ko lang yung mga experiences na parang parang there were instances na masasabi ko sa that's why it happened to me. May mga ganung moments, ma'am, di ba? Kaya pala ganun kasi I could use it to have to build my family this way better than it was that I had experienced before. May mga ganun, di ba, ma'am? Ganun na mga moments.
When we are in the moment of suffering, we sometimes ask, bakit kaya binigay sa akin sa Diyos? Bakit ako, di ba? Lagi tayo,
Mm-hmm.
ba't akong binigyan nito? But then, after ma-overcome mo lahat yung mga difficulties, yung mga trials, yung mga crisis na yan, makikita mo yung wisdom na, oy, ganito pala, kaya pala nagkaroon ako ng ganitong experience dahil gusto ng Diyos na in the end, you will be victorious in whatever battle you are going to choose in the future. So, siguro
Yeah.
yun yung insight ko.
Yay, yay. I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to hear that. No, ano naman kasi I always look up to people who have experienced ahead of me in terms of especially in marriage. No, and you're one of those people. No, you're one of those people that I know that I could learn from in terms of taking care of your family. Right? Am I correct, ba, ma'am?
I will mentor you always.
Okay, so let's now proceed to my third tip. Now, my third tip is to learn and to lead. Oh, lead and learn pala. Like that. To lead and to learn. So I think it's given that when you become a parent, you also become an automatic sort of a leader, diba? You become a leader right away when you become a parent. But being a leader is something that you only learn by doing it. No, you can't become a leader by simply attending a leadership seminar. Diba? So, or you can't just simply become a parent by simply attending a parenting seminar or something like that. Or you can't become a leader just because you have leadership positions of work or sa any organization. So the same din nga sa pagiging parent, no? You really have to be there. You really have to practice how it is to be a parent for you to become a parent, for you to lead your children. Okay, just because na ikaw or kayo miss kayo you brought out into this world little human beings, it doesn't mean yung automatic magiging parent na kayo, di ba? Hindi yan automatic, di ba, ma'am? So you still have to exercise those duties as parents. So before I became home based, there were instances na pag uwi ko sa bahay, we could hear our daughter say some words that we would never use in our conversation. And then I noticed bad words, bad words, vernacular words. And then I noticed that she was also becoming too close to her yaya than to us, which is very painful to see. Which is very painful to see. We would love our daughter to be close to us, not to anybody else, kasi we're the parents, di ba? So there were also times na she would cry. She would cry when our yaya would, like, uwi na sa bahay nila. And so I said to myself, what's the point of being a parent if you can't be with your children? Yun yung sabi ko before. And it was, kasi I was always at work eh. I was always at work and then I would work probably at least 9 hours a day. Then I would still have to travel. So around 10 hours. Ganon. So yun yung parang frustrations ko before. What's the point of being a parent if you can't be with your children, with your child? So but I'm not ridiculing other people because ito yung ginagawa ka ng karamihan eh, especially the career-oriented people. No? A lot of people are doing this and we think it's normal. And kasi nga pinapractice na siya ngayon eh. So ang karamihan is iniiwan yung mga anak for other people or for their nannies to take care of them. Ito yung na-realize ko talaga na time is the most valuable resource in life and once it's gone forever and you can never take it back. Yung pagiging bata kasi ng mga anak natin, once lang yun nangyayari. And once it's gone, once lumaki na sila, they could never be bata again. And they would never, they would never ask you or they would never whine na magpapakarga sa'yo. So, So yun, crucial talaga yung early stage ng age ng ating mga bata, ating mga anak. So, yun. Yun, may tumatawag. Sa'yo ba yun, ma'am?
Hindi.
I will close my Facebook para may tumatawag. Anyway, so yun, the reason I'm so strong with this thing or passionate about this thing is that na-experience ko kasi yan. Na-experience ko yung pait. And my mother was away during the times when I needed her I needed her the most. Um, my mother went abroad when I was 9 years old, and then di na siya bumalik. So di na siya bumalik, and then di siya nagparamdam. And then ang akala ko she was dead. She was dead. Kasi walang nakakaalam eh. Walang nakakaalam where she was that time. Puro chismis lang yung mga naririnig ko. And then, well, you were a child, and you're bata pa, no one, tapos walang mag-explain sa'yo. So yun, maguguluhan ka talaga. You would be confused what's happening in your life then. Or, yeah, yun yung mga na-experience ko. And then, ang masaklap is that 16 years later, malaki na ako, no? Tapos na, may trabaho na ako noon. Doon siya kumontak sa amin, no? Tapos, yun, it's as if she was trying to win back the time that was lost. And for me, that's impossible eh. That's impossible. My sisters and I didn't know much about her. And she didn't know much about us. So, I don't want that. Anyway, I don't, no? I don't want that experience to my own family and to my own children. So anyway, so yun, as a parent, next na po, you have the opportunity to guide your children to the right direction. That's how you lead them. No? That's the point. That's the essence of leading. And if you don't want your kids, your children to be guided by other people, then you have to do it yourself. No? You have to do it yourself if you know the right way where to guide them. If you have certain ways where you want to guide them. According to a professor, ano siya, theology professor ata, yeah, si Howard Hendricks, sabi niya, a good leader has a compass in his heart or in their heart and a magnet in their heart or head and heart pala. So meaning, no matter what other people say, no matter what the situation, no matter what happens to the world, you know how to guide your children to the right direction. Of course, that right direction is something that is probably with integrity, that is moral in your own definition of morality and in your towards being Christ-like or God-fearing. So you have to be that kind of person to guide them. And of course, you have to help them na inculcate yung most important values that you believe in life. And just like a compass, di ba yung compass, no matter what you do with it, babalik at babalik talaga siya sa North Pole, di ba? So yun yung point ng compass. You have to know where you want your children to go para alam mo talaga no matter what happens. And of course, with the magnet in your heart, when your children get off track, sometimes kasi may mga ginagawa sila ng mga bagay-bagay na para bang di natin favor sa nating mga parents. So, what you can simply do is you just bring them back on the right track, no? With your compassion, with our compassionate heart. So that's the magnetic heart. You have to be compassionate with your children to bring them back on the right track. And here's a picture that I'd like to share. This is me and my daughter. So one of the surprising things about being a parent is that you actually discover a lot of things about yourself. I discovered a lot of things about myself that I didn't know I had. So kids can say they're so adorable, they're so innocent, but they also have the power to push your limits. And sometimes when they show tantrums or they would cry for no reason, they would shout, and then whenever you would tell them to please keep quiet, they would shout. They would even shout louder. So it's as if telling you that Daddy, I am the boss here. So I will do everything I want just to get will do everything just to get what I want. Pero yung point na ginagawa nila. It's funny and it's cute sometimes, but there are also times na it's easier to lose your cool and to just get angry. It's easier, diba? It's easier to get angry than to be cool. However, based on my experience, when you get angry while your daughter is angry, it doesn't work. It never works. It's going to be worse. No? It's going to be worse. And yung daughter natin, they always win. They always win in this kind of war. So sometimes you have to learn to play the game of the children. And you have to learn to play their game to influence them. And here's what I observed from my daughter. Ganito siya. When she would throw tantrums when um, she doesn't get what she wants now. But when she wants, when she gets it actually, it doesn't really necessarily mean na mawawala na yung tantrum niya. For example, kanina, sinabi niya, Daddy, yellow slippers, please. Tapos binigay ko yung yellow slippers. Pagbigay ng yellow slippers, sabi na, pink slippers. So I was like, ano ba talaga? Yellow or pink? So yun, when I gave her the pink naman, sabi naman niya, purple boots. So the thing with is that she wants not really that thing or not really the material thing that she was asking, but she wants something from you, not the material thing, but your time and your attention. Yun lang, magpapansin lang talaga, especially pag bata. They want your full attention when you're there. And yun, bakit kailangan mo siya na-entertain at this very early age? Kasi minsan lang yan nangyayari talaga. And I learned that when kids turn 12 or 13, they would never ask anything from their parents. Tama ba yun, ma'am? Which I really feel sad to think about that. Tama ba?
Oo, meron na silang world na kanila
Ah,
minsan hindi na natin alam kung ano yung ginagawa nila sa loob ng silid nila. And they have their own world talaga. They have their own set of friends and wala na. Kung gusto mong sasama sila sa iyo, magsi-say no na yan. Ngayon, siguro iiyak yan kung hindi mo pasamahin. Ngunit kung lalaki na sila, ikaw naman ang magsasabi sa kanila na, oh, sumama ka nga sa akin.
yun, I was talking to a friend talking about that mga ganyan scenario kasi yung anak niya is medyo teenager na din. Parang nasad ako. Kung, kailangan ko talaga na i-cherish the moments na to wherein she would ask for or she would demand for my attention. So yun ang tip number 3. And tip number 2 is to forgive easily. So I learned this thing, this forgiving thing for my daughter as well. Kasi when she committed something, no, when she committed something na hindi not nice, she would immediately say, "Sorry na daddy, dili na usbon, promise, okay na daddy, happy na daddy." Kung ganyan na mga statements, no? And I was like, anak, it's not okay. Alam mo ba kasi, yung cellphone yung hinulog, so it's not okay. Pero sa kanya, madali lang i-forgive. And then, of course, she would cry. No? She would cry after pagsabihan na hindi, it's not okay. Okay. So, um, so yun, I would carry her kasi nga umiiyak na siya. I would carry her and I would tell her na sa anak, sorry because it's not it's a thing. It's not good to throw things. It's not good to throw things. But please, dili na usbon. I would always tell her na dili na usbon anak. Hindi yun. And then she would immediately stop crying after that. Kasi nga nakakarga na siya, nakaganyan na siya sa akin. So sabi niya ulit, sorry na daddy, di na usbon. So yun yung pinaulit-ulit. But unlike the children, tayo mga adults, we're different. We're different. We find it hard to forgive. We find it hard to forgive. We think that when something commits a mistake against us, we think of it as a wrath. No? Wrath. What do you mean by wrath? Ibig sabihin, we wallow over pain. We play it over and over in our mind, in our head. And then we rationalize not to forgive the person kasi nga baka ulitin ng person, baka ulitin niya again in the future. So why would I forgive him? Then another is we amplify the mistakes of the person. We think that if he can do this little thing to me, then probably he can do worse in the future. And letter T is we become tight. We become tight with how we deal with a person. And then mayroon na tayong mga prejudices. Prejudices. Narinig mo ba yun? May nahulog.
Wala.
I know, natakot ako. Baka pusa yun. Anyway, so yun. And lastly, we hold back. We hold back to connect with a person, and we hold back to trust that person. So nasa next slide na po ako, ma'am. Yan. Yun yung sinasabi ko. So wrath, we wallow over the pain, we rationalize not to forgive the person, we amplify the mistake of the person. When we feel tight with the person, we already set prejudices, and then we hold back. We don't trust the person anymore. Okay, there's this. Yeah, I want to share this one of those moments that I shared with you a while ago. No, I told her na huwag kang pumasok dyan sa laundry basket. Tapos pumasok siya, nahulog siya, and then umiyak siya. Tapos sabi ko, ayan, sabi ko nga sa'yo, huwag kang pumasok eh. Tapos after niyang umiyak ng few minutes, na-realize niya, maganda pala dito. So nag-ano na lang siya, naglaro-laro na lang siya doon sa loob ng basket. So imbis na magalit din, pinicturean ko na lang siya. So learning to forgive is really important. It's important not only at home, not only when you're home-based, but in all aspects of your life. Forgiving is not about tolerating the mistakes of the person or quitting or forgetting about the mistakes of the person. It's not about that person actually. It's about ourselves also. It's about ourselves. Kasi when we hold a grudge towards a person, there is pain in it, di ba? There's pain in it, the pain that caused by the person. And then when we hold on to that pain, that heavy burden occupies space in our heart. And if we allow that to happen in our lives for a very long period of time, it's going to waste our time. It's going to waste our energy. Kasi nga, when we feel bad, diba? When we feel bad, it feels a little heavy in our heart. And then imagine bringing that heavy burden with you wherever you go. So imagine it's a literal physical thing that you carry. It will really, really slow you down. So the thing is, forgiving is really, really, really important. And I've learned it and my daughter taught me how to do this and how to forgive easily. And yun. Another thing pala with forgiveness is that you also have to forgive not only other people but also yourself. Now, for instance, kasi we have high expectations of ourselves, and then when we come off short, we feel sorry na hindi ko pala kaya yon, ganyan. So ito yung nangyayari ko dati, especially pag sumasali ako sa mga speech contest and then natatalo ako. Which nangyayari a lot of times na natalo ako sa speech contest, I would really feel bad, and then I would sort of punish myself na sabihin ko, hindi na ako sasali, and then ayoko na, it's the end of the world, ganyan. So you also have to forgive yourself, right? Right. So last step, which I think is the most important, is to stay grounded. To stay grounded. So what do you mean by that? So to explain that, I want to show you this picture. Yeah, life is like flying a kite. So how do you fly a kite anyway? So siguro sa batch or sa generation mo, ma'am, usong-uso yung kite, no? Sa ngayon wala ako nakikitang kite eh. Which is a bit sad.
Dito, yung kite kasi ready-made na. Merong mabibiling ready-made.
Oo
Noon,
nga.
panahon namin, wala kang kite kung hindi ka talaga gumagawa sa sarili mo, di ba? Yung ginagawa mo yung kite mo. So, ngayon, meron ng mabibili na ready-made. So, kaya siguro yung mga bata ngayon, medyo wala na ring creativity kung paano siya gawin.
Mm.
Meron pa ring magaganda na nga yung mga ready-made na kites, mas magaganda sila ngayon.
So yeah. Anyway, the reason I think of kite is that there's something interesting about kites, flying kites na parang compare natin siya with life, no? Kasi yung kite, it needs to be tied up to a string, di ba? Para siya lumipad. And then while yung string dapat naka-anchored siya sa ground or pwede naman na naka-anchor siya sa tao na nagpapalipad ng kite. So, of course, as long as yung tao is hindi masyadong magaan or else pwede siyang ilipad ilipad ng kite. So anyway, now imagine that the kite is not grounded or hindi siya nakatali sa isang anchor. So what will happen? What will happen is that of course, the kite will be carried away by the strong wind, di ba? Mapupunta siya kung saan-saan. So now, in all aspects of our life, also, just like flying kite, if wala tayong anchor, if wala tayong something na nag-ground us, pwede tayong mapunta kung saan-saan. Pwede tayong ma-lost. You will get lost. You will for example, for example, you have your dreams and then you dream big and then you have big ambitions and it's so high. Kasi nga libre namang mangarap eh. So and then you achieve your dreams. But if you're not grounded by your purpose, if you're not grounded by your reasons for pursuing your dreams, ang mangyayari is parang empty din yung achievement mo. Or minsan, napupunta ka kung saan-saan. No, di ba? Even on places na you wished you would never go, di ba? So, staying grounded can also help you focus, no? Focused and relaxed and productive in your project, whatever the project you're doing, you're facing. Di ba pag stressed tayo, di ba? Pag stressed tayo or overwhelmed or burnout sa mga ginagawa natin, we feel stuck, di ba? We're like in this moment now, we don't know what to do next. Di ba may mga ganun na mga moments? And then you will be tempted to just give up and throw in the towel. When you're grounded by your purpose, for your purpose of doing things or doing your project, doing the things you love, you will easily get back to your mojo, to your moment of creating, to your moment of making your project. So, how do you stay grounded in this context, by the way? So, number one is that you pray and meditate, or either way, you meditate or you pray. And by saying that, I mean you really, really deliberately schedule in your day a time to do that, to meditate, to keep grounded. Because if you don't meditate, marami kasi pwede na madali kang ma-affected sa whatever um, stimulation that's out there na external world, from the external world. Kasi when you meditate and when you pray, it anchors your inner world to the present moment, di ba? Para bang i-rewire niya yung train of thought natin. No? Minsan kasi pag sumusobra na yung kaka-download natin sa mga information from the outside world, like we read the news, we watch the news na not so pleasant, not so favorable to us, parang ma-overload tayo. No? Overload tayo with the information. And minsan nakaka-stress din yan. Nakaka-cause din yan ng stress sa atin. So instead of wondering what's out there, instead of worrying about things that could happen that hindi naman talaga nangyayari, you have to stay grounded na what's in front of you, right in front of you, right at the very moment, is that you're okay, and then everything's gonna be okay. No, everything's gonna be okay, right? So, yun, staying grounded is also applicable in our finances, of course. No? It's also applicable in our finances. And before we even think of investing or accumulating wealth, you really need to work hard on your anchor. Really need to work on your solid financial foundation. Kasi pag dumami na yung pera natin, ang mangyayari is if your foundation is not solid, if you don't have the solid financial foundation, madaling maubos yung pera eh. Madaling siyang magagasta, mawawaldas, ganyan. Or probably um, parang kakainin ka na ng sistema or ng pera. So yun, even if you don't have that much also, if you're not earning, if your earning is just enough, no? It's just enough, hindi ganun ka yaman, but if you have the solid financial foundation, you can also achieve greater heights in your finances in your life. So yun. Yeah, one of the benefits of staying grounded, yung nasa screen, is when you're lost, you know where you go back to. You know where to go back to, and just like a home, na you're safe there and you can return there wherever you're lost. And when you're grounded, regardless of situation you are in, regardless of the crisis that you're experiencing, regardless of pandemic, whatever, you will always see opportunity, positive opportunity behind and any situation. And wherever you are, wherever you go, you will always find peace of mind, peace of that everything will be all right, peace in your own life, peace in your own self. And
Sa aming
there,
mag-asawa, siguro I would just like to add some as a tip also na yung being grounded in our case, we keep on looking into the center. What's the center? What's the focus of our relationship? Kasi kaya nga meron akong isang episode na making Christ as your center kasi pag grounded ka talaga, you know that you have this God of yours who gives peace, who provides you na kahit medyo hindi maganda yung sitwasyon katulad ngayon sa pandemic, hindi ka hindi ka natatakot sa future mo dahil alam mo na you are in good hands. Dahil alam mo na yung buhay mo ay nakasentro sa Kanya eh. And being sons and daughters of God, kung tayo nga, ikaw as a father, as I listen to your sharing, 'di ba? You always give in to, sometimes you give in to the whims of your daughter or your son, 'di ba? So ano pa kaya siya if I am the daughter or the son of or the child of God, hindi mawawala yung provision niya sa akin. So when you have the right focus, you have the right centering of your relationship, hindi mangyayari yung kinakatakutan mo, but instead you will have peace. Yun yung sinasabi mo sa last slide mo, you will have peace wherever you are. So, ang galing, ang ganda ng insights mo. So, what's now?
yeah, thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for adding that input. Isa yan sa mga naisip ko, but I don't feel worthy of sharing that. kasi nga, who am I? I'm just a kid na. I'm just a new guy in this thing called marriage, diba? So I'm still in the learning process. So thank you for sharing that wonderful wisdom, really. So I also learned a lot from you. So ito yung summary. So here are the 5 survival tips based on what I've learned so far. Kasi nga naman, learning never stops naman din, di ba? So baka next time mag-guest ako ulit in the next future. Baka 500 tips na to. Sa ngayon 5 pa lang yung maisip ko, no? So yun, stay grounded, forgive easily, lead and learn, choose your battle, establish routine. And I really believe that you can do whatever you want. You can build your wealth. You can, even if you're just at home, even if you're home based, you can build your wealth without leaving your family behind, as long as you know your purpose, your meaning, and what you are doing. Right. So thank you so much,
Yeah.
Nijet.
So, I would also like to thank you for giving us your time, no? Medyo gabi na ngayon, but yet you're here kasi ang dami ngayon na mga home-based husbands and home-based daddies na siguro nawawalan ng work. Kaya gusto kong i-ano to dahil at yung point of view ng lalaki kasi iba yung point of view ng babae. So mas maganda kung nanggagaling sa lalaki yung ano yung mga insights, yung mga experiences mo bilang nasa bahay and ano yung mga learnings na nangyayari while you are still at home with your children. So nagagandahan ako sa sharing mo and for if you want to contact Sir Franklin, he has actually a website https colon double slash thehomebased.com. I think you also have a podcast, sir. So I kindly invite them whatever you can give to those who are watching us now.
Yes, yeah, that's the main website that I have. You can visit the website if you want to learn about basically on financial. I'm a financial educator as well. Other than the Field Design Academy, I am also the founder of Philistine Academy. I'm teaching my fellow creatives transition from doing their hobbies, the things that they love, the things that they're passionate about, and making profit from it. So there, my podcast is the home-based dad podcast. So obviously, but my name there pala is not Franklin Views. My name there in my podcast is Yano Allen. Bakit? Kasi I don't like the sound of my name sa podcast na Franklin Views. So binago ko siya na Yano Allen. But anyway, Yano is my son's nickname, and the Allen is the name that was given to me by an online teacher dun sa before. So anyway, I like the sound of it. So anyway, so thank you, Nijet, and
So, siguro yung mga daddies or hobbies dyan na home-based din at walang ginagawa, you can go to Sir Franklin's website and matuturuan kayo ni Sir Franklin kung paano you are going to earn even if you are there, nakabase sa bahay lamang. So, Sir Franklin, thank you very much. And then sa audience natin, maraming salamat. Nandyan pa ba kayo? And thank you for being with us tonight. Sana andyan pa rin kayo sa susunod na mga episodes namin. And hopefully, merong value yung nakukuha ninyo sa episode namin ito. Don't forget to subscribe sa mga YouTubers natin dyan. So don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. And maybe yung question of the day or question of the night kasi gabi na, ano kaya yung pwede mong magawa as a home-based daddy or as a home-based hobby? Ano yung mga na-imagine mo na pwede mong gawin para makamit mo yung mga dreams mo at your marriage with your wifey will work out and become empowered. So we will end the session tonight and thank you, Sir Franklin. Thank you for watching. God bless.
God bless. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.